what sense does that make? When they have hearts that are beating. And it isn't so much at that point to the fact that homelessness is not a sense of not having a home or an enclosed cavity where you have doors and windows, but just a sacred place of comfort. And it's not until you have felt discomfort to realize that the comfort is not found in the dwelling of what a house might make, but more so a pillow or a warm blanket. Things that Chris Crawford will provide on Friday nights to families and individuals who have to sleep outside. You have no idea what that is to so many people. You see, wordsmiths will take letters and piece them together, and they paint images with their lips and tongue tips, welcoming the audience to vicariously experience the moments we portray through verbal portraits with the sole purpose of an execution to your silence. Your actions or inactions are a reflection of your inability just to give back. There are commandments beseeched upon you, whether or not you read enclosed books, cavities of things that have been told from griots or your grandparents. There are responsibilities that at some point in time you will be accounted for. Because you count on your hand the times that you had to sleep on somebody's floor, the idea of you having to deplore, the idea of having a bed not be made with frames or rails, but more so a pallet on someone's living room carpet. Know what carpet feels against your skin when you haven't slept in a week. Could you even think about the idea of what it's like to welcome your doors open and say, make yourself at home and mean it? What exactly would that mean for you to open your door to a stranger and let them know that they too are family? How much is enough for you to give back to the point that you don't lock your bedroom door in fear that they might come in, but more so you keep it open in case they have that nightmare again? No idea what it's like not to be able to sleep in silence, in solitude, in peace. It's not until you have felt that breach of your security system that you seek some type of ground. Solid foundation like a rock. Can't nobody take that from you like your mind, the thoughts process over time of you being able to idolize the concept of what it is to have and share a home. I was prompted by Outspoken Being almost 4 years ago to think about the time that I felt like somebody's hero. Without pronouns, I had to compose something that we would call a poem. But something so much more within that, as you've experienced with all these poets, something so much more because it's all things we've had experienced. Our own truths, our own ugly, things that you snap for and think are beautiful, but how can we make beautiful things without the tears to show you the rainbows? Took toiletries to the house of those the government left out, shook the shaky hand of a spouse who felt paralyzed. He felt paralyzed, weighed down, found no peace in those bottles of Crown, lying on his ground, the skin soaked in with this stench, the scent of mothballs, sweat, and tears. For 4 years he has stayed with me, thanks to the gracious gifts of Chris Crawford and events that we've had at St. John's. The things that you've done on your own have helped me, helped us, helped them. 10,000 families no longer worrying about how to brush their teeth or how to get deodorant or the things to make their odor go away. Sometimes you think about those small essentials as if they're needed, never giving thanks for the small things you have in your bathrooms or the fact that you have a room that you can take a bath in. So many of our citizens, our neighbors, our family, have to worry about bird baths in the bathrooms of those gas stations we're too afraid to pee in. And they find comfort in the dwelling of being able to be refreshed, the essence of their skin being clean, so maybe their eyes can beam at you at that red light and you have some sense of sensibility, no longer desensitized by the idea of having to turn your head because you're ashamed of the bag that you have from McDonald's from the freeway. You look away because you don't have any idea what you could say, but sometimes your silence is so profound, it's prophetic, to the point that you could never neglect to give somebody back to be back on the direct path of what you were chosen to do. You've been summoned to fast. And it's not so much of a religious content as it is the fact that you should be able to give in order to get. How can you receive if your fists are clenched? Can you just pick up the essence of that sense, since we rely on tangible proof? The absence of sense leaves us here fooled by sense and sheer tools. I pity that fool who tries to make sense without belief in nouns unseen, never heard, or proven to be present without tangible evidence. Your home is not your own until you've shared it with somebody who can actually say thank you. Not so much for what you did, but for this their place to lay their hands, their head on something and be able to give thanks to who the credit is due. Thank you.